Welcome to How to Survive, the show that teaches you how to survive the stuff that can kill you.
Like Nazis, or microplastics, or floods.
And the stuff that just makes you wish you were dead.
Like monopolies on class rings. And unhelpful parents. And less sexual partners.
Man, you know, you can get all of those sometimes in life.
Yeah, but you know what you really want?
Our theme song?
So stupid.
It's going to make you feel real good.
Oh, get on into our theme song right now. I don't know what that was. Sorry.
Ground is shaking under our feet. Mountains on fire, flooding in the street. Can't breathe the air, can't fight the feeling. Goblin down, Xanax ain't the way to be dealing. Gotta do better than just getting high. We gotta stick together if we're gonna survive. How to survive. How to survive.
Cello.
Hey, it's time for a show.
It's our June episodes.
Sometime in June.
As you're listening to this,
Don't tell them.
Kristine, I shouldn't?
Oh, no, tell them.
Kristine is in Europe.
Yeah, where am I?
Where are you? Where in the world is Kristine Kimmel?
Who knows? I might be in Germany. I might be in...
So you just said you might go to
I
Portugal?
might be in Portugal right now.
I want to go to Portugal.
I
wanna
do
go
too.
Anywhere.
I do too.
Yeah.
I don't know where I'll be. I might be at Julia's house in Portugal.
Julie has a house in Portugal?
Yes.
I know her heritage is Portuguese.
Yes, it's a family home.
Oh my God.
I might be there. I might be hiking in a mountain. I might be in a... I know I won't be in the water because it's cold.
I'll probably be in my backyard on my chaise lounge.
That sounds nice.
Still reading Vanity Fair.
Watching
Just
some
900 pages.
watching some cats have sex.
Yeah, that wasn't a one-time thing.
It usually isn't.
They've it's been at least a couple of weeks, but we're back at it.
Oh my goodness.
We just like watching them in the morning because it's just I think they just get bored, so they just decide to fuck with each other. Well,
it's your porn.
It's my porn, yeah.
Nice.
Well, there hasn't been any sex in a couple of weeks, so that's good. Because I don't like seeing it. It's just icky.
It's a little violent.
It's
seeming,
just
right?
violent, yeah.
It's not like they're like, you know, there's no foreplay and as we understand it.
Well, yeah, and then it's just like we're not supposed to be seeing this.
No.
They didn't opt in. Well, they are, but they don't know they don't have shame, which is a problem.
We should all have a little more shame.
I think so.
They should do, you know what? Cats should be more like George Clooney and J-Lo in the Out of Sight. You know, when they're in the bar and he comes over.
Yeah.
It should be more like that.
Yeah.
That's what
They're
cat...
pretending to be two other people.
Yeah.
I just saw that scene, but I don't remember anything else about the movie. Except I think there was a bathtub scene, and I think there's a scene where she's in the trunk of a car or something. Is that right?
That rings a bell.
Some bells. Yeah, maybe I'll watch that with the kids.
Oh, no.
No? Is it too sexy?
Isn't it?
I don't remember. I mean...
I don't think there's any...
Yeah, but I don't know. Just
I haven't seen it since it came out.
It's just sexy. So I don't know. Maybe, yeah, I guess you could watch it with the kids. I don't know.
I thought it was also kind of a fun movie, but maybe I'm misremembering. Do you know what we started watching with the kids last night?
What?
Pen 15.
Oh, I loved that show so much.
And it's perfect because it's 7th grade.
Yes.
They're 7th graders, and it's the pilot, the first episode, is their first day of 7th grade.
God.
And I didn't realize that. For some reason, I thought it was like they were freshmen. And, you know, because they're with like these real kids.
Yeah.
And
your kids are in 6th right
they're
now,
in
right?
7th. They're actually in 7th.
Oh, this is their second? Oh, that's right. Okay. Your
Yes.
school went to 6th. That's right. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Got it.
And I was like, they're either going to love this or they're going to be like, no, I don't like this or
Yeah.
whatever. They loved it.
They love it?
They loved it. And it's just as funny and charming and, you know, just heartbreaking too. As
I remember crying a lot during that show.
Yes. And I'm like, oh, this is perfect. This is perfect to watch with them right now because they're also going through hard stuff. It's, you know, hard stuff that hurts too. And so it's really awesome.
They're relating to it.
They love it. So
That's great.
I was like, oh, good. This is a show we can all watch together.
I told you at least some of that school was taped at my actual junior high.
That's awesome.
Taped.
For a live studio audience?
Jesus Christ. Filmed.
I think you're allowed to say that.
Yeah, I was like, oh, as if this show doesn't hit any harder.
Right.
There's my
locker.
There's the place of my 3 worst years of my life.
Yeah. Oh man. That's the hardest thing, I think. One of the hardest things about parenting that I didn't realize until it was happening is that you have to go through it again.
Yeah.
Some of the worst things that you experienced harder because it's happening to this being that you love more than you love yourself.
Right.
And you have to just also watch it happen.
Yep.
And not stop it in a way. Like you have to just kind of know that it's part of life, and some of it you can't really protect them from it.
No, you can just give them advice and hope it helps.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's tricky.
But a lot of times that advice is, yeah, I'm sorry this is happening. This sucks and it's going to get better. Like there's not really even much you can do.
Chin up.
Chin up.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could take my dad's approach and just tell him a worse story that happened to you that's similar but worse.
Wow, that helped.
That's what he did.
Yes.
It was just like, well, yeah, I can relate because, and then just tell us. So then I would just be like, so we're just all losers? The whole family? That's what I'm trying to get from this. Is we're just come from a long line of losers. Fantastic. Fantastic.
Now, would you say that ever helped you feel better?
No.
Yeah.
I don't think it ever helped me feel better. I think it was a disservice.
It doesn't help. It doesn't. I don't think that ever helps. Like, it never helps to hear somebody's story that's worse. Right?
Not really, no. I mean, unless there was a way that they dealt with it.
Yes.
But there wasn't.
Unless you've got a story of...
Unless you have a moral.
Yeah, that how you fixed it.
Right. I was talking to Oliver the other day about... I don't really tell him a lot about my past relationships, but I said something about like a pattern that I had with my relationships. And he was like, oh, I'm sorry, Mom. I'm like, no, that's not the point of it. I'm not trying to make you feel bad for me. I'm trying to just relate,
Yes.
So, yeah.
Well, he has empathy.
He does. He does. But I was trying not to
that
do
wasn't
my
your
dad thing. Of
yes,
like,
that wasn't your point.
I didn't give him specifics of like, well, this is how I was humiliated this time. This is when the boyfriend said, oh, look at that girl's legs to me.
Yes.
Yeah, stuff like that.
I think my dad did a fair amount of that as well. Like your dad's stuff. Not that I didn't share much of things I was going through.
Right.
It was more of just, I really think, and I don't want to say this is your dad, but like my dad's generation of narcissism.
Yeah.
Of like just men of that generation just mostly thinking about themselves and their own experiences.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of the way they were raised. Not that my dad was raised really to think about himself, but I just think that generation of like, my story is what I'm going to talk about.
Right.
Not really to think about what perhaps is your story.
Right. Right.
And how you're feeling.
How can I relate to this 14-year-old girl?
Yes. Or just, I'm thinking about me.
Right. Yes. Yes. And I know he meant well. I know he was trying to say, like, you're not alone. This happened too. It's just that when it was story after story.
Yes.
Of like, being wronged.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yes.
It's just like, how is that helpful after a while?
Yeah. And I do think there's a shift in the age, which is about now for my kids, where they absolutely don't want to hear any story from me. Like,
oh, okay.
They only want to hear like, they only want to be validated. Like there's a shift of when they're little, they love to hear stories about their parents and they want to know everything. And then there's a focus change around probably puberty where their world becomes not about their parents, but about the world they're in, and adult world becomes lame.
Tiring.
And like the world becomes about their world. And so adults stuff is not interesting per se.
Yeah.
As much. And so they don't care about your stories. They're like, you don't get it. Why would I want to know about yours?
Yeah.
It doesn't.
That's fair.
It doesn't help. It's like you become not the person to give advice, but the person to just listen. And I
Yeah.
think that's the right approach anyway, you know, like, because advice in general doesn't really help, I think.
I feel so bad that Oliver's going off to college, and I don't think I have like words of wisdom. Like, you know, when you hear people say like, oh, I'll never forget my second grade teacher because they told me such and such, or this person, I'm like, I don't know if I have any words of wisdom.
I don't think he needs them, though. Like, the truth is, I think what
He'll
needs...
just live life.
He needs to have experiences, and he needs you to be there as a soft landing place.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I did give him like we had a good talk the other day, and I did give him some advice, but I don't know that it'll, work or stick, but whatever. Oliver is supposedly going to Ren Fair tomorrow.
Okay.
Does he want to borrow this?
He doesn't really even want to go. He's like, I don't know. But his friends are going, and I said, well, you did really like it when you were little.
Yes.
And he's like, yeah, but like, I don't want people being on in front of me. And like,
Oh boy. Well,
he's like, I'm not really into the like,
The pageantry?
the pageantry. And I was like, well, there are games. Remember, there's like bow and arrow. And
Okay.
he was like, oh, okay. Yeah, that's true. But now I just learned it's going to be super hot. So I don't know.
Yeah, Ren Fair and heat. It
Yeah.
seems like they can't exist without each other.
I know, but when Garen went a couple of weeks ago,
it was chilly.
so he lucked out.
That's
during
better.
The clouds and the
Yeah,
drizzles and
that's
stuff.
what you want, I think.
So now
what did I
there's-
say, 93, 95 tomorrow?
Yeah.
So now there's going to be sweaty cleavage.
Oh, boy.
Sweaty cleavage.
And people like just hot and red and eating
Yeah.
giant turkey legs.
Yeah.
And big red arms.
He might throw up. He might not. And then I said, and remember there's that zip line.
Yes.
And he was like, oh, I hated that zip line because there's this like janky zip line they
Yes.
have. I don't know if you.
I didn't even see that.
But he was so light then.
Yeah.
He was so tiny
Yes.
for his age and so skinny that he like went flying like, when you land and you just bounce everywhere. It was like a total nightmare, and he was so nauseated. Like,
Oh
you've
my
got some
gosh.
pounds on you now. It might not be that bad.
I hope he does it again.
Well, now he's done real zip lines, so
Yes.
it's like, he won't be scared, but he did feel really nauseated.
You and Jimmy should go.
Oh, God.
And run into him.
Oh, God.
Oh, fancy
surprise
meeting
him.
you here,
Oh, look.
my good sir.
Oh, my good. Just curtsy at him.
Full regalia.
Speaking of that, there's this. So we've been watching this show on Pluto
Okay.
called Peep Show. It's a British show. It's really old, but so
Is that an early Jesse Armstrong?
it is. I'm impressed that you knew that, because
you.
we didn't know that until we started watching it.
I think I only know that from like reading a piece of, something about Jesse Armstrong. I haven't seen it.
So one of the guys in it, David, I'm completely blanking on his last name.
Mitchell.
Thank you, David Mitchell, is on all the British game shows.
Okay.
And he's so funny. Like, as a person, he's just like ridiculously funny.
Yeah.
He's on this show called Would I Lie to You, which is a brilliant, it's just a brilliant show. It's so funny. But so he's one of the actors in it, and he's like much younger. It's like the early 90s. It's not like an amazing show, but it's good. There's some laughs. Oh, and Olivia Colman is one of the regulars.
Okay.
So it's super crazy. It's
that makes
like,
sense to me.
She was like on a lot of...
Yeah. She didn't just come out of nowhere.
No.
Yeah.
It seemed like she did here,
Yes.
but there she's been like around forever.
Yeah.
Because she's been on some of these game shows, and you're like, why is Olivia Colman doing these game shows?
Yes.
You're like, oh, because she started with these people.
Yes.
Anyway, there's this commercial for some new prophylactic implant for women.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it's called, but it's some prescription thing. You subscribe and you get like 3 different ones a month, and you
we're
have an
not far
unboxing
from
video. Yeah. But the people it's like these 2 people in the forest, and they're in like Renaissance fair type or Renaissance time period type clothing. And the impression is like they're looking at each other, and the guy's like, we can't. And she's like, oh no, we can. So like the idea is that she has this implant because then they like go have sex in the woods.
Sure.
And then I said to Oliver, I'm like, oh, they're LARPers. They're just LARPing because they wouldn't have that back then. You know what LARPers are, right?
I think.
Oh, live action role playing. LARP.
Live
It's like
action.
people who are, like live Ren Fair, like outside
Oh,
of Ren
like the
Fair.
Civil War people?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty
Got
much.
it, got it.
So I'm like, this is even sadder. These are like people who are in the woods having sex as, anyway, it's a really annoying commercial. I can't, it's really awful.
It's a real commercial.
It's a real commercial. And it's for some new, what is it called? Like the pill, but it's not called a prophylactic. It is a prophylactic, but that's not what it's called, right? Anti-baby.
Like an IUD or whatever?
Yeah, it's like an IUD type thing.
Oh, so it's like the sponge?
Well, I
but
imagine
like-
it's injected or something.
It's I don't know. It's something you have to get with a subscription. So
And then you unbox it.
and then you unbox
I-
it.
As
Yeah.
long as you pay your monthly fee, you're not
Okay.
going to have any babies.
This is why I got confused in this.
Because I wasn't telling the story well.
No, I think because when you were saying it was on this show,
Yeah.
I thought it was a bit on the show.
No, I'm sorry.
No.
It's a commercial.
I think my brain
Yeah.
is partially broken.
Okay.
So,
There are commercials on Pluto. You have to watch commercials.
no, I understand that a lot of things have commercials. I just, for
Right.
some reason, there was like, maybe I shorted out for a second. Sometimes you short out.
I have been up to my ears in You. I'm finally at the correct
Okay.
season. I'm not sure I'm digging where it's going.
Okay.
It's changed quite a bit. I
Oh.
mean, they have to. It's based on these books, and I don't know if the books, I don't know if the show goes beyond the books, or you know what I mean.
Are the books, what's the genre of the books? Are they thrillers for adults?
Well, it's written in the same. I started one of the books just to see, and it's sort of just like, funny murders. I guess. I mean, the show can be funny.
yeah.
He's actually kind of annoying me now, which I don't. I feel like I'm in a relationship with him, where I was obsessed with him,
Yes.
and now I'm like annoyed. I'm like, this is just real life. I don't understand why am I in a relationship with Penn Badgley?
Why not?
Why not? He is clean shaven for the 5th season.
Oh, good for you.
Thank God. But now I kind of miss. I don't know. Something's going on with me. I'm not sure. It's hormonal.
It's just,
It's just complicated.
it is. Sometimes you don't think you like the facial hair and then they get rid of it and then you're like, you look too young and baby face
I know,
now.
it's weird.
Put it
I don't-
back.
I don't know. It's very strange.
You guys are
But
going through a thing.
I do like that the woman in the 4th and 5th season is the woman from the British Ghosts. I don't know if you ever watched the British Ghosts.
I like the British Ghosts. It's the only one I've ever seen.
So the straight woman, the woman who can see the ghosts.
The main that
Yeah.
buys the house.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like her so
I
much.
like her too.
So she's the female lead. in
She's
these two
like
episodes.
English. Nope, can't think of her name. I think it's an actress you're not usually fond of. From Parks and Rec. Her dad was Quincy Jones. Rashida Jones.
No,
she
I
kind of
don't
reminds me of
think
Rashida Jones.
Oh,
No?
no, not to me. But I don't know if I mentioned on the show. I did very much like Rashida Jones in the Black Mirror episode she's in.
I haven't seen it yet, but I will watch.
Yeah.
I think that's the first episode, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't.
And I
finished
think
that
it's
yet.
one of the best. I haven't watched. I think I have a couple more, but I think she's quite good, and I think the episode is really good. But anyway, yeah. So that woman who is also, she was on a season of Taskmaster.
Ah, yes. I don't have access to those.
Oh, it's on YouTube.
I know, but you have to have I think YouTube.
It's not YouTube TV.
Oh,
it's just YouTube.
Okay, good. Well, we'll check it out.
If you can get YouTube on your television,
I believe so.
I think the kids would love Taskmaster.
It's really
Yeah?
fun.
Okay.
Yeah,
And this season, Jason
Mantzoukas.
Mantzoukas.
Oh, is he good
They
on
have
there?
one American on.
Yeah.
They've never had an American on. Yeah, I mean, they're all just funny, and I mean, it's just fun. The show is just ridiculous, and the host, Greg Davies, is just so goddamn funny.
Oh, he's very funny.
Oh, you know who he is.
I've seen him in things. I must have seen some Taskmasters.
Okay.
Right?
He also hosts a show called Never Mind the Buzzcocks, which is another game show.
Yeah, I know who he is. I must have seen some of the show.
He's really quick and really, he's just, they just have a different sensibility. Like they can just insult each other and it's just funny.
Yes.
It's like no one gets offended.
Yes.
And it's just like he'll insult the people on the panel and I don't know. It's just the way he does it. And because they're all British, it just somehow works.
They're able to do it.
They don't kiss ass.
Yes.
And it's so refreshing.
Yeah.
It's just, I'll just get annoyed with a contestant and it's just,
I love
it's
it.
really funny.
I want to live in that world.
I know.
Let's move there.
Okay.
But the weather.
Ugh.
I don't know if it would be good for
couldn't
us.
handle
Our
it.
mental health
Oh my God.
would
So pale.
plummet.
Oh, yeah. Well, should we take a break?
Yeah.
And we'll come back
I love breaks.
with our topic for today.
Yay.
Yay. Welcome back.
Hey, everybody.
How was your break?
It was great.
I like your overalls.
Thanks. It's like baby lady.
It's like an SNL sketch.
Yeah.
You're just like dressing yourself in onesies? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Are there buttons at the crotch?
No, but
Snaps?
I wouldn't mind. Or Velcro, just like and go.
yeah.
That'd be easy.
Why not?
Right? It's like you got to do this whole shebang. It's not, it's big. It's baggy
Loose.
though, so it's not difficult to deal with.
Yeah.
It's really what I wear when I garden, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
And when I got to like run errands on the weekend.
It was sort of my look in the 90s. Like I'd wear like a leotard under a loose
Yes.
overalls.
There you go.
Very 90s.
Well-
Very 90s.
Everything comes back.
Lots of pockets for my thin eyebrows.
You carried your eyebrows in your pockets?
Seemed like, I don't know, I was just trying to stay on.
Pocket to eyebrow ratio was off? Is that
It
what
was
you're...
way off.
Wow.
I'm just going to check something in case. No. Okay.
All right.
So are we ready to get into our topic today?
I have never been more ready than I am in this moment right now.
So we put out a call and you guys answered.
Thank you, guys.
We asked listeners,
We did.
what would you like to survive? What
Yes.
would you like to learn about how to survive? Someone said rabies. We've already done that. So thanks for listening.
Well, technically the episode though wasn't rabies, it was vampire bats, and then we did like a side tangent
okay.
on
Oh,
rabies.
I thought you
So
did rabies.
it was embedded in the vampire bats
Yeah.
episode. So they
Right.
did listen.
But we did get great suggestions and keep them coming. I guess you can't because at this point you're in Europe, so it's too late. But
we'll still
maybe
take
for
'em.
another time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is how to survive a more sexually adventurous partner.
Ooh, that's a good one. I think a lot of people deal with this.
Yes. So there wasn't really a how-to. I just ended up on some like advice sites.
Okay.
So that's what we're going to do, and they're from two different perspectives. One is from well, we'll just get into it. Okay.
Yes.
So this is a site called Dr. Psych Mom.
Ooh, sounds very relevant and
She's a clinical psychologist.
okay.
And a mom.
Her name is Samantha Rodman Whiten.
Thank you, Samantha.
So this is what she says. In the same day, I received 2 reader questions about the same topic. Husbands who don't like their wives being too sexually adventurous or forward.
Oh, husbands.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, husbands are allowed to be, prude also. So here's where we go.
Okay.
Here's the first. My fiance is perfect. He holds doors open, holds my hand. He holds a lot of things. Kisses my forehead. And he truly listens to me. He rubs my aches and pains away, helps me with arbitrary and tedious household tasks. He loves me. I can see it and I can feel it. We have a great sex life. I was previously married to a man for 17 years who did none of these things, and we had many marital issues. Infidelity was the top. That infidelity made me hate myself, and I succumbed to extremely low self-esteem. I gained a massive amount of weight. At my highest, I was 326 pounds. My husband passed away, and I began to take better care of myself. Passed away. She killed him.
Might have, put a little poison in his tea.
And I have lost over 100 pounds. I still have some ways to go, but unfortunately, I would venture to guess I am even more self-conscious about my weight than before. Anyway, my fiance and I lived, she didn't say anyway, I'm saying anyway. My fiance and I live together with my 3 daughters, so spontaneity is a task in itself, but we try. On a few occasions now, I've sent a risque picture of myself to my fiance. Those are 2 French words in one sentence.
Whoa, look at her.
With accents, hoping to elicit some feedback. Me, hey, thinking of you, XOXO, insert scantily clad photo here. He, wow, that's hot. I'll be thinking of you all day. Can't wait to get home. That's what she wanted. Instead, I get, he, why are all your pictures coming in backwards?
Backwards?
Or he, that doesn't look like you.
Oh.
Yeah, that's bad news bears.
Ay, ay, ay,
Ay,
ay,
ay, ay, ay, ay. I communicated with him that I want to be desired, that I need to feel that I am sexy.
Good.
He will often, he will often say something like, you know I'm in love with you, which that hurts almost more, and maybe because I read into it by thinking, oh, I don't need to be sexually appealing or hot because you love me, which I totally am.
Yeah.
I think she's right.
I agree.
Now he also has an extensive porn collection.
Uh-oh.
So he's not anti-sex. And I undeniably have an aversion to porn, but only because it makes me feel bad about myself. Okay, I can't compete with those women. Anyway, I'm going to skip a little bit of this. What am I doing or could be doing differently?
Okay. I have a lot of opinions, but I want to hear what the doctor has to say.
I want to hear what you have to say.
I have the opinion that they should talk to a counselor.
Yeah.
Openly, because it sounds like he might have I agree that she should feel uncomfortable with the porn and him not being sexually comfortable with her.
Right.
Because he sounds like is sexually repressed and is comfortable with his sexual desires towards porn, but not being open with a real person.
An IRL.
An in real life woman.
Yeah.
And that is not something she should have to take on by herself.
Right.
They
good
should
point.
They should do that with the help of a therapist, because you don't want to go into a marriage with this roadblock.
Right.
But didn't they say they have a healthy sex life?
Well, that's what she said, but she's not feeling
Desired. And when his response is, I love you, and not like, I'm hot for you.
Or the pictures came in backward.
Yeah, that's a problem.
I mean, why is he?
What are
He's
you
clearly
saying
uncomfortable with her sexuality.
Yes.
Okay, so here's the second letter. My husband and I have been married for 4 years, dated for 7 years before that. We are most happily married, no children. Early 30s. My dilemma is that I am pretty sure I'm much more sexually adventurous than he is. I would love to have a threesome or even watch him have sex with another woman. I have tried to ask for anal, but he was too scared of hurting me to get very far, despite my assurances that I was enjoying myself. We have discussed threesomes, but he says he doesn't want to act on it. I do want to respect his very chivalrous and tame approach to sex, but I also crave some uncontrolled kinky sex from time to time. How do I tell him it's how do I tell him it's a big deal to me, or should I drop it? Okay, so do you have any responses to that?
Yeah, I think they could maybe meet in the middle somewhere.
Yeah,
like,
because a threesome is fucking crazy.
Well,
I mean crazy in that.
I think it's okay for him to be like, I don't want to bring another person in.
Yes.
That's too far for me. But like, they could be like, what if we watch porn that has threesomes, and maybe we go to a sex store and we get some items, and we can find a place that is put you maybe a little more out of your comfort zone and a little closer to mine. Can we talk about some ideas together that are pushing you a little more in my direction, so I can get a little closer to mine? Like, it still feels like there's a place where they could meet in the middle.
I agree. I don't mean crazy like it can't be done. I just think in a marriage or in a committed relationship, it doesn't seem to work out that well. I think you have to be very specially wired.
I think both people need to be open to it.
Yeah.
And it sounds like he's not. It's okay to be kinky and also monogamous.
Yeah.
Honey, will you wear this gimp suit and let me ride you like a carousel horse?
There.
It's either that or I bring in your friend.
One or the other.
Get Dave. It's up to you.
I need one or the other.
Look, Dave's in that closet.
He's already here.
You pick the closet you want to do.
It's either Dave or my ass.
One. Door number 2.
That's exactly what she says.
Yeah. So Dave's coming out of the closet if you don't get in my ass right now.
Well, ladies, despite the fact that reader number 1 is a bit more tame than reader number 2, there is the same sort of dynamic going on. Let me explain some possibilities for why your husbands aren't chomping at the bit to, I think it's champing at the bit.
Is it?
I think they're both acceptable at this point. To respond to your sexual advances. 1, they are naturally more reserved, and you were subconsciously drawn to that at the start, even though at the start you likely... even at the start was likely their least inhibited time, they were still inhibited. So she has this thing about imago, which I had to look up, but I guess it's the idea that you are drawn to your parents in your...
Yes, of course.
Okay.
We all marry our parents, guys.
So...
Accept it.
Your imago is kind of restrained and inhibited, so that means a caregiver was, and your fantasy as a child was always to get that caregiver to loosen up, but not sexually. Okay. Now you've found someone straight-laced and your subconscious is obsessed with getting them to open up so that you can finally get someone you love to open their mind out of love for you, thus healing the wounds of your childhood. I don't know if that is accurate. Maybe it is.
Is this her theory or a theory?
This is a theory.
Okay.
I don't know if I agree with this. I don't know that... I don't know where your sexual... I've never really thought about it. I mean, I've thought about it in terms of, okay, that guy's a psycho killer. Something happened in his childhood, or that person's into this because something twisted happened in their psycho. But I think people who haven't had twisted things in their childhood also have their own predilections. So where does that come from?
Yeah.
Who knows?
It's why are some people more inhibited and some people more open? I think it's an interesting concept. I haven't really read a lot about it because there's also, it doesn't necessarily come from trauma. I mean, there are a lot of people who are really like into kink and into, BDSM and or just want it to be wilder.
Right.
And some people are like, I like missionary and that's fine with me. And that's as far as I want it to go. I don't need any bells and whistles.
Right.
I don't want those. And is that in line with their personality too? Or are there, it's a fascinating idea of where that comes from.
Okay, 2, your husband feels intimidated by your aggressive sexuality and scared that they aren't going to be enough for you. They view the things that you ask for now, whether sexy text responses or threesomes with women, as a sort of gateway drug that will make you want more and more and more sex, specifically sex with other men.
As a gateway drug? I don't know.
I don't know if her theory. I don't know.
I don't know if I actually agree with her.
3, she's just giving different options as to what is going on.
Okay.
3, they have lower sex drives than you. They met you and loved your spark, sexiness, and joie de vivre, but now it's turning into more than they bargained for. 4, as for the porn issue, this speaks to the Madonna whore complex that some men have. This means that they love a woman. When they love a woman, they don't want to be sexual with her. They often do that dirty stuff with dirty women. Okay. So your
That's interesting.
Yeah. So your fiance, reader 1, has a dichotomy in his mind between good girls and bad girls. You're the good girl that he's going to marry. He probably also viewed you as a damsel in distress. Remember, she had the terrible husband and then he died. Since you had a crappy first marriage, and he liked and continues to like being your knight in shining armor, he does not like treating his princess like a slut. Okay. 5. Ditto for you, reader 2. Your husband loves you and he thinks you're hot, but he also thinks of you as this insatiable sex succubus, and that doesn't sit well with him. It makes him feel insecure and like something would be tainted in your marriage if you were to open it up to these sorts of adventures. He may also feel like, what am I supposed to do during a threesome? What if the other woman finds me gross? What if I can't get it up? Why can't we just have a normal sex and sometimes use a blindfold or something, for God's sake? Which is sort of what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Like,
Slow down now.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah.
We're jumping right into the fire here.
Yeah. 6, you should both read. Okay, so she's just plugging some book. Okay, so she says, anyway, reader number 2. I didn't look this up and I meant to. Monotogamy, not monogamy, monotogamy applies to you since you're in an older relationship. Females get bored in monogamy evolutionarily. This is an interesting theory. So you want to spice. You always hear men get bored of monogamy. So you want to spice it up. Here's how to bring this up to your husband in a new way. Hey, I really would find it hot to have a threesome. I am really curious about why you're so averse to it. Is there something about the idea that concerns you? Him, I don't need that stuff. What's wrong with our sex life? You, nothing. I love our sex life. Honestly, though, if you read these 2 books and Dr. Psych Mom's website, it's totally normal for women to want to mate with different guys around ovulation. Like, Penn Badgley.
Yeah.
It is biological. I'm in love with you and always will be, but I think it would enhance our relationship to be more sexually open. I don't even want other guys anyway, maybe just a threesome with a woman. I think she's asking for trouble, personally. He says, she's just role-playing.
Yes.
Look, I don't want that. He says, okay, let's think about some things you might find exciting, and maybe we can come to a compromise, just like Chris was saying. I promise I will always love you, but honestly, I really like the idea of more exciting sex, and I want to experience it with you. Did you look up monogamy?
Monogamy?
Monot?
It just sounds like it's monotony.
I feel like
monogamy.
Yeah. It's just, this is boring.
You're smart in the head.
Because I Googled that and there was not a single thing.
She just did
someone
that.
made it up.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Unless she's hinting at ethical non-monogamy, but it sounds like Chris's.
Is that
Ethical non-monogamy is basically
screwing around on
polyamory.
each other?
Polyamory, or having a third person or whatever.
Okay. See what it says. Maybe you can start watching more porn or reading, just like you were saying, or reading you weren't saying that, but something like you could watch a threesome or reading erotica and go from there. But I would try and see what his real insecurities are about the threesome. If you know what he's anxious about, you can address it directly. Okay. Reader number 1, I think you just feel insecure and want him to really want you like a caveman. Sadly, the guy who kisses you on the forehead and does all the chores isn't usually a caveman. His mom probably taught him how to treat good girls, and he will have a hard time getting out of this mindset. Maybe you can tell him explicitly, when I send you naked pictures, I'm always hoping you'll say, wow, I can't wait to come home tonight. When you say something else, it makes me feel really bad, like I'm not sexy enough for you. It also makes me feel like you prefer porn actresses to me. I love you and how loving you are to me, and I want to be your loving fiance, but I would also like to be your sexy girlfriend. Mm-hmm. Can we think of some scenario where you can treat me that way too? Okay. Well, the moral of this story is don't assume that guys always have the higher sex drive. As we've seen before, this is a faulty assumption, but there's usually more going on than just disparate sex drives, including anxiety, insecurities, different worldviews about sex, gender, and marriage, and all sorts of childhood issues too. So that's that one. You look very concerned.
No, I'm just listening.
Or is it bored?
No. I was just interested in what you were saying and listening. And I think that, like, my take would just be the best thing for these 2 people to do would also be to talk to a professional counselor with their spouse.
Yes.
Because it always helps, I think, to have that person in the room to relieve some of that tension, because it's so awkward to talk about. People have such a hard time talking about sex and asking for what they want.
This could be the threesome.
There's your
you
first,
guys
yes,
and the counselor.
Yes, your first threesome should be the 2 of you with a counselor. But the one I'm worried about is the one whose husband isn't responding to the texts, because I think if he's not attracted to her,
it sounds like he might not be attracted to her.
That's the problem. Like, if he is, but he's just not able to verbalize it, if he like can assure her, like, I am very attracted to you, then I think they're okay.
Right.
But if he's not, and he's marrying her for whatever reason, like, that isn't sexual attraction, but he's like, she's a good woman, and like she's a good partner.
Yeah, she's
and,
already got kids, and
this is a good choice for me, then it's bad news, right?
Might be bad news.
Yeah.
Might be an unmatched match.
Because you want to be attracted physically to the person that you marry. So that's a little trickier.
All right. Do you want to hear something from a guy now?
Yes, please.
Okay. So this is on a recent episode. You mentioned this woman. Tell me her name again.
Esther Perel.
Esther Perel.
And now you can't stop hearing about her.
Then the next day, the very next day, is my mic working?
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. The very next day I went to therapy, and my therapist mentioned Esther Perel. She claims she's from Belgium. So it's all over the map where she's from.
She probably is right about where she's from.
Then I read this story or this thing, and it's also it's from Esther Perel's site, and I had no idea. So this woman is just all over.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a guy writing in. My wife of 5 years is very vanilla, very, very vanilla. She likes sex, initiates even sometimes, and has no problem having an orgasm, especially when she's on top. But she does not like things like sperm or anal, and generally makes the ew, icky face whenever bodily fluids are involved. And the bigger problem is she doesn't think she's vanilla. She thinks she is open-minded. Sometimes I try to nudge her in a different direction, say, let's try this, or something similar. And she doesn't say no all the time, but I can tell she's not into it. It's like she's just doing it to please me, which makes me feel 1, awful, and 2, bored.
She's going, ew, the whole time.
She literally has a clothespin on her nose.
She's got her thumbs both down.
Yeah, she's blowing him with her thumbs down.
Yeah, and they're not in his butt.
No, they're not. He wishes, but I've been with plenty of women before her. She's been around too. And I look back on those sexual relationships with longing. When it comes to sex, I'm worried I married the wrong woman. How can I move us to a non-vanilla direction? Signed, Just Please No More Vanilla. Dear Just Please No More Vanilla, I hear you, and I always pay attention to the language that we have when describing our predicaments, because language shapes the experiences we have, and because most couples don't have the tools to speak openly and effectively about sex. They are under the influence of the stories they tell themselves, meaning she does a little deeper dive into like where he's coming from, which I like. If you talk about your wife as vanilla, and that has become your prime construct for describing her sexually, then I would say you should start watching the way that your language tries to capture your experience, but instead limits possibilities for change. In the spectrum of people who are labeled as vanilla, your wife is actually open-minded. Trust me, some people not only are not open to not open to experiment with different things, but will also make you feel so bad about it that after a while you will start questioning your motives, desires, and so on. Some of my clients even call themselves perverts only because they want to try positions that are common in other people's sexual encounters. So the language you use will constrain you. By implication, you have described yourself as more adventurous or open-minded or trying all kinds of things. And now, whatever she does, no matter what she does, you'll interpret it as vanilla. It's confirmation bias. Mm-hmm. She's saying, change the way you change your outlook. Don't be so judgmental.
If you can't be with the one you love, honey,
love the one you're with. My husband and I have an ongoing debate about that song. What do you think that line means?
That you should be happy with what you have.
You should be happy with what you have.
Yeah.
Okay. I always interpreted it as you're on the road, your girlfriend is at home, so just have sex with the person that's there.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, I've never thought that ever.
Okay.
Like the feature?
The feature?
The featured act that you're on tour with? Love that. Love that.
Well,
person?
A fan, a groupie. I mean, it is a band singing it.
I think it's more about that you're not with your true love.
So
you are with who you're with, and that's the person you love.
Okay. I think that's what he thinks. I'm just curious. I was just curious.
Okay.
I'm just more cynical, I guess. Although they both sound kind of sad. You can't be with the one you love, honey. Love the one you're with.
I think to me, it's optimistic. It just means, this idea that there's a soulmate, I think is ridiculous. And so
make the best of
love who you're with, because that's who you're supposed, that's.
Yeah, I get it now. Okay. Okay, so the language you use will constrain you. By implication, you have just, okay, I already read that. It's confirmation bias. We see what we want to see. So a descriptor can actually be restrictive. What makes this even trickier is that now your wife knows this too. In a way, she might be building up worries and resentment toward the whole situation, which will soon backfire. If she feels she is always going out of her comfort zone, i.e. not resisting your suggestions, but reflecting this dislike on her face, then she expects some level of acknowledgement or appreciation, but instead what she receives is a label. So she might be thinking, no matter what I do, I can never meet my husband's expectations, which would be further discouraging to her. The question of how people introduce their partners into new forms of sexual play or experience is a very delicate thing. Because preferences are often hard-edged, and so are dislikes and disgusts. Everything operates on a track between the stuff that excites you more and the stuff that turns you off. And to make these two tracks match is real art. It's like two people jamming together.
Jamming.
Oh, she means I thought you meant like jamming body parts.
She doesn't?
No, I think she means like
jamming.
She means like what?
Like a band?
Yeah, she means like oh my God, why can't I think of the name of that band? Fish. Yeah. And just so you know, men and women complain about the same things. It's a popular topic that sex therapists discuss, that even as you're sending me this question as a man, I may be getting the same question from a woman.
Yes.
Ironically, not only do we get the same complaints on both sides, we can get them from two people in the same relationship. So while a man complains about his vanilla wife, the wife complains about her insecure husband, to whom she cannot express her preferences because he takes it immediately as criticism and a sign of inadequacy.
Oh, that's so interesting.
The way the question is written tells the story. And I like that she's just like reading him. She's just like, I mean, not in a negative way. She's just saying like it's more complicated than what you're saying.
Right. And also he is maybe not giving all the information because he's like, she doesn't like bodily fluids. But it's like, well, maybe because you're saying you want to spooge on her face.
Yeah. Right,
and maybe
exactly.
that's not where she wants it. Like,
right, or pee on her or something.
Yeah, like what is it specifically you're wanting to do that she's not interested in? And, and maybe what is she like too? Like this sounds still like they need to have a very open conversation about both of their desires.
The way the question is written tells the story. And furthermore, it emphasizes the importance of finding every way possible of improving the communication. And this communication happens outside the bedroom. So let's start here. Have you ever talked with your wife about your conflicted feelings? Not during the sex and not during the act, but outside the bedroom. And not just to say, I'm unhappy about this, but to say that what she does do things you like but to tell her the things you like that she does.
Yes.
And that you appreciate that. Does she actually feel appreciated? Ask her questions. What's it like for her? And is there a way you can make it more pleasurable for her, or more of anything that she might be yearning for, more connected, more intimate, more ravished, etc.? You may say, I've asked her 10 times and she never says anything, but that's only the first step. You must begin a conversation with questions like, what would make sex more exciting for you? Are there things you would like to do? When do you feel most free? When do you feel the most traction? What is the compliment you would like to receive? Most women would love to receive this kind of communication from their partner, and not just during sex to say, I'm coming. I mean, do you have a good sense of how you turn your wife on, or how she gets excited by you? About how you can bring her into a state of ecstasy or surrender? And don't be embarrassed to tell me, I don't know, or that the only place you've seen female satisfaction is in porn, because it's very, very different for women. In most porn, there is no body touch, and everything she may like, for example, may have to do with various types of touch. Okay, fast touch, da-da-da. Also, have in mind that in a long-term relationship, especially between married individuals, the expectations and the role of sex will vary from what it was with all the people each of you have been with before. It would also be helpful for you to ask yourself a question or two before the thought of marrying the wrong person escalates and becomes a serious one in your mind. Were you happy to marry any other of your sexual partners? Why did you choose your current wife? Probably because many other factors that you were looking for in a wife were united in her. So it is very important to differentiate between past sex experiences and the current one, especially if you are in a relationship of a different caliber with your current partner, aka married to her.
Yeah, the ones who are the best at sex are probably not the ones you should marry. You know, there's a famous German saying, would you like to know what it is?
Yes.
Dumb fucks best.
Oh my God. That's amazing.
I mean, Sven might be making that up.
And what is that in English?
But I mean...
But is that a male thing? Because I don't think women are necessarily attracted to dumb men. But I think men are... Chris just gave a look like you've not met all the guys I've had great sex with. They're dumb as a post.
I'm not going to say too much.
Okay.
I think the point is like... the wildest kind of people in bed aren't necessarily the people
Your life
that are going to make
partners.
good spouses. Now, that's not true across the board. Look, I haven't had sex with every person in LA, just 3/4.
Right. And half of those were dumb.
Half of those were dumb as a fucking rock. No, I'm kidding.
All for X.
But I think
XX.
what she's getting to in this point is those women that you think weren't as vanilla, would you have married them? And maybe the qualities that drew your wife that make her a good wife or partner are maybe what you think, that she's maybe a little more responsible also means she's not as insane and wild as you'd like her to be in the bedroom. And that doesn't necessarily always translate. It doesn't mean that if somebody's like, well, I always pay my taxes and my bills on time and I show up for work on time every day, it doesn't mean that person isn't going to be, really adventurous in the bedroom. But I think there might be a correlation there. I don't know. I'm not a sex therapist. Like, I'm
also,
just...
when you get married or when you're in a relationship, there is always a compromise. I don't know that you get every single thing from one person.
Thank you, Esther Perel. That's her whole shtick.
Oh, okay. All right.
Her whole shtick is marriage takes a village.
Yeah.
Like, you are supposed to have a network of people in your life to meet your needs, which is you don't expect your husband or your partner, to be your best friend too, and to be the person who makes you laugh harder than anybody and who also understands your every thought and feeling.
Interesting.
And who, like, you want to talk to the most when you're the saddest. Like, you have a network of people.
Yes.
Because your husband can meet, let's say, hopefully, or wife or partner, maybe, if you're lucky, 60 to 70%. And then you still have another 30%. So maybe when you're feeling really down, he's not the first person you want to talk to. And that doesn't mean he's not a good spouse. Maybe when you're like, God, I really need to laugh, like gut busting. Maybe he's not the person. It doesn't. Maybe when you want to talk about your favorite new song, maybe he's not the person. Like, it doesn't mean you didn't. Maybe, and maybe sex it's not the best sex you've had of your life. Or maybe it's some other issue. It doesn't mean they're not a good partner. Like, I think
that's a really good point.
It's because I think so many people think they're not in a good marriage because of things like that.
Right.
And her whole thing is lower your expectations of what you expect in a partner. You're putting too much expectation.
Yeah, and then you're beating yourself up if it's not
and
the
thinking,
right thing.
And thinking there's something else out there that's better. Or like feeling like you made a bad choice or you made a mistake. And why I think she's really good about what she does is she helps partners realize those kind of things of like, there's a whole world of people out there that you can find joy from if you explore and enrich and open your network.
The thing is, it's interesting you say that. I think to paint with a broad brush, I don't think men, have other people the way women do.
Yes, that's true.
We have friends and we have, intimate conversations. And men don't so much. And so it's got to be really hard, actually.
And I think that's probably one of the reasons they die younger. And there's more of, I don't know if dementia is higher in men, actually, or not. But like, that's the biggest, just because I've been reading about this more since my dad, like one of the biggest ways to protect yourself from, dementia and Alzheimer's is your social network, is having a broad social network.
Yes.
And, when I, even just being at his memorial, tons of women his age, tons, not as many men, because it's all widows, because they're all dead.
Yeah. And I see what you're saying.
So you look at the social networks of women and you really see how much that protects them.
Absolutely.
And how necessary it is. And and I think maybe men are getting better about that because of generationally, they're not doing the whole like, I'll work myself to death and never have a friend and never, I hope that's getting better.
I just don't know that they have conversations. Like, I don't know. I mean, you're a man. Do you have...
Well, I'm gay.
Is that a difference? I don't know. It is. Okay.
Yeah.
100%.
So then...
I think because to stereotype it, I think a lot of gay dudes are... I think if you look at masculinity or femininity on a scale or on a time or on like a like a spectrum. I think gay guys click a little bit more towards a feminine side, and there's some that don't, whatever.
Right.
But
Yeah.
and I also think that they are extremely social people.
Yeah.
Like we have all these clubs everybody goes to, we talk to, we hang out, we community. Straight guys, especially those that are hardworking, like Southern dudes and that where masculinity is number one. If you're not a masculine man, you're not a man. If you shed a tear, you're not a man. And if you have a best friend, you're not a man. It's
my point is,
it's societal.
Even if a man has a best friend, I don't think they're talking about
Their
I don't know
feelings
that
as
they're
much.
getting to the nitty gritty.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
women do. That's all I meant.
And women can literally like be strangers and meet in a bathroom and
Right.
start talking about their personal stuff
Right.
very quickly. I think that's a way we have easy access to that. And that, I mean, even I can see it gendered in my kids. And I think we've raised them both to be very open with their emotions. They've both been to therapy. Like that, Sven is not like an aggro dad
Yeah.
at all. But it's really hard. Benji has a really hard time talking about his feelings and emotions.
Oh.
And whereas Alex, it's like she can go right there.
Right.
And for Benjamin, I think it might also be his personality, but like he will just be like, I don't know what's wrong.
Yeah, Oliver says that too.
I don't know.
There's a lot of I don't knows.
I don't know. I don't feel right. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, I still do that. I still. I think it comes from not teaching boys how to understand those emotions, and as much as we've changed societally and how a lot of younger people are more open and are more accepting and willing to process that stuff, a lot of us still don't.
Yeah.
Don't know. Like there's times I sit around and I see like intrusive thoughts of me sitting like as an old man in a chair, just alone. Like,
oh, Jesus,
Garen, we're not going to let that happen.
I don't think it will happen. It's just.
Oh, no, it will.
Scary. Yeah, tonight.
A 180? We won't let it happen, and then it will happen.
Well, I'm saying it's going to, but we'll be there for him.
Oh, thank you.
We'll bring in the cat litter.
Yes.
We'll be right back with what did we learn today?
Yeah. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Hey, Danielle,
Kristine.
are you ready to learn what we learned?
Most ready.
Where in the world is Kristine Kimmel?
Right in front of my face.
Nothing like a parent helping by showing that even your problems are mediocre.
Yeah.
Love that.
That's what I try to exercise.
Jostin's main competition in the scholastic recognition products market include Herf Jones and Balfour.
Well, there's roll off the tongue.
Now you know that.
Herf Jones.
I know that.
Herf Jones. Yeah. Herf.
I can't get over it.
I know, it's so weird. Peep Jones. Peep Show is a British television sitcom starring David Mitchell and Robert Webb. The series follows the lives of Mark Corrigan and Jeremy Jez Osborne, two dysfunctional best friends who share a flat in Croydon, South London. Mark is a socially awkward and despondent loan manager, while Jeremy is a childish slacker and unemployed musician who lives in Mark's spare room. Although these pals couldn't be more different, they find they're facing a lot of the same issues as they make the adjustments from university life to the working world.
And you know what's weird?
No.
I didn't know the other guy's name, even though we're on season 5.
Okay.
Because they don't have the credits there is an opening
Yeah.
theme song.
Yes.
And they show people.
Okay.
And they don't list the names.
Bizarre.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Are all British shows that way?
I don't know. But it's really weird. It's like, why are you doing an opening credits if you're not having credits?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if Doctor Who has the credits at the beginning. Because they have the big shit.
This show is literally 2 stars. And then there are other people. But there's only 2 people who are on every episode. And they don't put their names at the front of the show. It's very weird. And also, they can talk about things, because I'm guessing this was like a regular BBC show. It's not like a cable show or anything. They just talk about things that would never be talked on our main
channels.
Yeah.
Main networks. Well, they're cooler than we are.
Yeah. And actually, there was nudity. Now that I think about it, there was some naked boobies.
You can see all of that in the Europe.
All right. Well, I guess we have a lot to do, so we should go.
We should get to our TVs immediately. Don't even look at the sun or the trees or smell the jasmine. We got to get straight from the studio.
That's right.
Right to our televisions. And we hope you will all do the same.
Yes.
Do not go outside.
No.
Or don't go for a walk.
Don't touch grass.
No.
Oh, God. I saw a video of like a baby's first time touching grass.
Yeah.
Which would be cute, right?
Yes.
But the mother, who's the one filming, is going, are you centered? No, are you grounded? Oh, do you feel grounded?
Oh, my
Gross.
I was like, oh, you're fucking ruining this whole thing.
I hate that.
Just let that baby's life is going to be trash. Do you feel grounded? You're saying to a 6-month-old?
He probably has hemp slippers.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, everything on that touches that baby's made of hemp.
Yeah.
Or it's like all chakra aligned.
Yeah. Okay, well.
All right, well, that baby is being
Good
abused.
luck, baby.
We're the worst. Good luck, baby. You know what? Oh, wait. You know what Alex said about Ken Jennings?
No.
She goes, he looks like a street baby. I don't know. We saw him on the side of a bus when I was taking her to school this morning. She goes, he looks like a street baby. I go, what's a street baby? She goes, you know, the kind of baby I'd see on the street.
What does that mean?
I go, like,
Panhandling?
as a homeless
Like
baby?
an urchin?
She goes, no, just like in a stroller. I go, so like as opposed to what? Like a baby you'd see in a movie? I go, so then I just started kind of ripping on her. I go, like, what? Like, he's street? She goes, just forget it.
If you're going to make a joke, you
Yeah.
got to be able to explain it.
She goes, I just meant like outside.
Okay, that makes no sense. And also, he looks like a baby?
Yeah. She goes, he like has like a baby.
He does kind of have a
does
She
have
baby.
goes,
a baby
he's
face,
I go, he kind of looks like an old man too, though. So then we were calling him old man street baby.
Oh my God, that is hilarious.
Anyway,
That's his
He's
rap
an
alias.
old man street baby.
Oh my God, I kind of love it.
Kind of great. All right.
Oh my God.
That's all I got.
All right, well, until
Till
next time,
remain calm.